I think the real need I saw in the marketplace was people struggling to get their inventories in order, trying almost everything that they could, and looking for something new. So in my first year, I think I made 100 trips to customers or prospects. And I probably had 2 folks who quietly told me, I know what you're trying to say, Professor. It's politically incorrect to go back to my CFO and say, all the stuff that we did, it wasn't going to give us inventory benefits anyway. But more importantly, I think we gained credibility when we showed that in several places, their inventory was too low, that they should actually increase it. That is why this was not about inventory reduction. It was about inventory right-sizing. The question then became which vendor to buy from and will it work? But we also had made a very good strategic choice, which is to partner with SAP. We noticed that 60 to 65% of our customer base had selected SAP for their ERP systems. It became quite natural for their IT groups and their CIO to ask, are you compatible with SAP? Why didn't SAP do this themselves? Supply chain folks are looking for competitive advantage and innovation to keep going. And I believe that will continue to remain.
The world of supply chain management, particularly related to inventory target setting, is only getting harder. So if we thought supply chain management was hard before, it's only going to get worse. Every product is now governed by a global supply chain to the point where when a catastrophe happens or a disruption happens halfway across the globe, you feel it, and you feel it right away. Enterprise inventory optimization is the first commercially available program, software technology, and planning process that factors in these complexities and uncertainties to the point where you can now begin to plan and govern and execute your supply chain much more effectively. Supply chain managers have to constantly balance and figure out how to meet the needs of marketing from a sales standpoint, of finance from a working capital standpoint, and of manufacturing from a capacity standpoint, all their needs simultaneously. The people we meet and the people that embrace this application win personally. So when somebody says, hey, what if my demand spikes 10%, but my suppliers become more reliable, then what's the implication on inventory? Now they can come to the table for the first time with real answers.
Well, at Celestica, we want to be recognized for delivering the most effective and innovative supply chain in the industry. And tools such as SmartOps are helping us delivering that. What SmartOps allows us to do is to optimize all our inventory levels so that we can deliver a specific required customer service level that our customers demand from us. In supply chain, and especially in our industry and our business, things change very, very rapidly, very quickly. So we need to always stay on our toes and try to anticipate what these changes will be. This tool allows us to do that. As well, one of the other things that it helps us with is the fact that it takes the emotion away out of some of these decisions that sometimes are made in a supply chain, right? And a perfect example is when the planner runs out of a part. The planner runs out, makes a decision, I need to put a lot of safety stock on this because I don't ever want to feel that pain. When you actually look at it from a historical point of view, that point that he or she made that decision on may have been just one single data point in time. So another aspect that SmartOps helps us make better decisions based on data instead of on emotion is because we look at the entire history of what's happening. So we don't make a decision based on just one data point, but we make a decision based on a collections of data points. And we have seen improvements in working capital. We actually seen an improvement of about 10 to 15%, depending on the supply chain. And the improvements will be different depending on the type of situation that you're walking into, right? If you have a lot of fat in your supply chain, then your benefits will be larger. If you're running a leaner supply chain, maybe your benefits will be a little bit lesser, but you'll get different type of benefits, maybe some intangible benefits. If you had perfect forecast accuracy, you don't need this tool, right? If you had perfect forecast accuracy, your on-time delivery would be 100%, right? Provided that you could build and then ship as you requested. But because that is not a reality, the tool allows us to help and collaborate with our customers on forecast and forecast analytic.
We were looking for a 5% saving in our overall inventory. And one of the big things that we found as we dug into the understanding of the inventory that we had was that inventory targets were only about 20% of our total inventory overall. And so 5% of our overall inventory became a 25% target for reduction in our inventory targets overall. And so we focused on that. We see ourselves as achieving that. But probably the bigger benefit, and what was more of a surprise, was the understanding that we got around the other 80% of our inventory. Just understanding what the fundamental drivers were behind that, being able to see that, the visibility of that, the simulation capability of that was something that we found was very useful, and we intend to be able to take a lot of advantage of going forward and see probably bigger benefits than the original 5% by being able to target particularly our lean improvement efforts to the things we can identify in there that will help us reduce inventory further, working on those drivers such as lead time, such as the review frequency, etc. in the process. You know, most of the traditional education material out there tells you there's a trade-off between inventory level and service. It's only when you fully understand the concepts behind multi-stage inventory optimization that you get to appreciate that you can actually achieve both with an implementation of tools such as SmartOps.
We entered a relationship with SmartOps around the 2005 timeframe. Since that time, they have achieved really the pinnacle of our partnership program. And what that means is we co-develop, we work together to provide the optimal solution back to our customers so they can achieve the maximum amount of value. The planning engines that SAP provide help you reduce the variability and provide visibility to where things are in your supply chain. But what SmartOps and inventory optimization does on top of that is provide the insight based on that variability. So based on that improved forecast accuracy, based on that reduction in lead time, based on that global visibility, how to set probably the most critical parameter or component of any advanced planning system, and that's safety stock. One of the other key reasons why companies are investing in enterprise inventory optimization is to make sure they can increase their customer service levels at a minimal cost. So, you know, it's kind of both ends of the equation, both the inventory side as well as making sure we're fixing the inventory mix to optimally service our customer.